Now, did they solve every problem? Of course not. But they started that foundation that through the years could expand and really live up to that promise of we the people and all men created equal. They were radical ideas. They're still radical ideas in lots of places.
What gives you hope for the future?
My hope for the future rests in my faith in a God, and it's been said, I believe by Dr. Woodson, that the European lost their Christianity in the Middle Passage. And maybe that's where Africans gained theirs. I have a faith in a sense of what is right, and that this is earth, this is not heaven, and on earth there will always be battles. And as long as people know that this is a battle, and that they're ready to come in with a value system that's not based in rhetoric of this American dream and the praise of the Founding Fathers just for their existence, but looking at this from a very practical standpoint.
The Antifederalists lost decisively, and their heirs have been losing decisively for 225 years. And yet, there are American political movements that I think have the Antifederalists as a kind of wellspring or source, who worry particularly about the corrosive effects of military empire on America. Senator William Fulbright, the Arkansan, Fulbright said the price of empire is America's soul, and that price is too high. He said that in the mid-1960s, as Vietnam was deteriorating into what it became, and that's very much an anti-federalist sentiment. I think that the best antidote to the empire is recovering a sense of place. No matter where you are, it can be your hometown, it can be the place you live now. But Booker T. Washington once said, "Cast down your bucket where you are." That means knowing your neighbors. That means supporting local businesses, local music, local artists. And I see great hope in these things, and they completely transcend any kind of liberal, conservative, left-right boundaries, all that red state, blue state nonsense.
Most of the Anti-Federalists believe, to a much greater extent than the men who wrote the Constitution, that ordinary Americans have the capacity to govern themselves. And the Constitution made a supreme, powerful statement that ordinary people can't rule themselves. And a lot has changed since 1787, but that issue is still out there. There is still a fundamental question about where is the problem? Is the problem that ordinary voters want to be freeloaders and get free stuff from the government, or is the problem that there are wealthy interests who have too much power in Washington? And that's the same battle that there was between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists.
We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union.
Is there a need to re-examine the structure of government?
Provide for the common defense.
Well, I think there are enormous problems with the structure of the American government. I don't know that a constitutional convention would be the way to solve it. One could only imagine what kind of circus that could become today. It would not be held in closed doors. It would not be leak-proof. It would not allow for a philosophical debate over government. In terms of dysfunctional, yeah, we're kind of dysfunctional right now. We have had dysfunctionality before. Think of 1860, 1861.
But we have conventions and developments, customs that have created this government. Political parties, the agencies, the various federal agencies. They're not part of the Constitution. They just develop. We have a whole structure of government that's arisen that supplements, fills in the Constitution. It's a very small document. Jefferson and Madison would be shocked at the extent of the power that the national government has. But some others, like Hamilton, would be delighted. This is what he wanted all along. He would be delighted with the Pentagon and the CIA and the whole vast apparatus. That was his dream. It was not Jefferson's dream at all.
What is this country? Why was it created? What are the consequences of the mechanisms of creation? And as we're looking at today, going into the future, as this growing population of people of color will then become the majority of the United States, will this Constitution be able to protect the rights of those people? Or will it be changed in a way that creates an apartheid state? That is a question that concerns me, but since I know that people of color had battled against more than this, then I look forward to what we have to do to fight for full citizenship.
To us, and to each new generation to come, is the continuing challenge to preserve for ourselves and our posterity the blessings of liberty.
Confounding Fathers, they fought against the Constitution. We just got started, now we need some time to let our freedom rest.